Hello, I wanted to make a quick YouTube video about my favorite fountain pens I use as a college student. So I'm going to be comparing all my fountain pens to these two pens, which are a Bic pen and a Pilot G2. Both pens you might have in your house. The Pilot G2 is a favorite of some people, so I decided to add that in because that was my previous favorite before I got into fountain pens. And I'm going to be writing the word minimum just because it's fun to write in cursive in each of them so you can compare the thicknesses of all of them. I will be testing all of these pens on the cheapest notebook paper I could find. My first fountain pen is a Pilot Petite 1 and it is only $3.30. With shipping it's going to cost like nearly double that, but it's still a very cheap pen and it works very well. It is very tiny, as the name would suggest, and you can post the cap to make it a comfortable length. And on notebook paper it works pretty well. It's a little scratchy, just by my standards. I like really smooth pens, but it definitely works, especially for that great price. My second pen is a Muji fountain pen. I bought this at the Muji store in California. I had heard a lot of great things about it from Peter Draws, who's a YouTuber. Really high expectations, so maybe that's why I just don't really like it that much. It is $17 and it's so scratchy. Some people like that, and if that's the case, then that's the pen for you. I don't like this pen so much. I didn't even have ink in it, so I'm not able to show you what it looks like on paper, but just trust me, it does have a similar width as the other pens. The next fountain pen is the Uli Fab fountain pen. This actually comes in a 4-pack. The full 4-pack is $12. It's a very good deal. You might actually find this at Barnes & Noble, which is where I got it. It was my first ever fountain pen, and it is amazing. It is one of the smoothest pens I've ever written with. I really do like it. It does have a hooded tip, which is kind of unusual, but it doesn't hinder you at all or do anything like that. Okay, the last pen is the Kaweco Skyline Sport. I have it in black, and this exact one is going to be $27.65, but trust me, there are some cheaper ones, especially if you get a different color, if you don't get the Skyline. Which is Skyline just means it's silver instead of gold. So this is my favorite pen. I use it almost every single day. It's not as smooth as the Uli, but it is very smooth, and it actually does give you a little bit more feedback than the Uli of like how it feels on the paper. So that is kind of nice, and it writes so well. I also wanted to say that I actually don't use piston converters in any of my pens. All of them have the original cartridge that came with them, and then I just use a non-hypodermic needle, so one that can't poke into the skin, and I just fill it up with the ink, and then put the ink in the cartridge and just put it right back in. So I just keep doing that, and it works super well. It's cheaper than buying piston converters for all the pens. Okay, thank you for listening. Those were my favorite fountain pens I use as a college student.